What's going on, guys? We'll jump into today's show here in just a moment, but first, I need to ask you a question. Are you subscribed? If the answer is no, what are you doing? If the Mavericks make a move, we will have it covered, covering all of the latest Mavericks news and rumors, giving you analysis on the games, doing watch parties. We'll get back to those after the holidays as well. Join the almost 31,000 subscribers right now, the biggest Mavericks community here on YouTube. Welcome into Mavericks Today by Chat Sports. I'm Jeffrey Cooperstein. Glad to be with you guys here on Christmas Eve. And on today's show, we're going to be taking stock in some various Dallas Mavericks topics. I've kind of scoured the internet to see what the people are talking about regarding the Mavs, and I found a few topics that I think are interesting and worth talking about. So let's just jump right in here. So I'm going to buy, sell, or hold stock in all of these potential topics. Let's start with this one. The Mavericks will be a top 3 seed in the playoffs. Right now, I think I'm absolutely going to buy this. The Mavs have the best starting 5 in the NBA, and we'll talk about that starting 5 here in just a moment. They have the best starting 5. I think they have a cast of characters that are really built for the long haul, for the postseason. And right now, they're right in the middle of the Western Conference race. They're beating teams like the Portland Trailblazers that they should. They're beating good teams as well. They're doing it all different kinds of ways. If they need to grind out a win, they can do that. If they need to win in a shootout, they can do that as well. This team can win in different ways. Death by 1,000 cuts. No matter which way, this squad can do it. They have one of the 2 best players in the NBA in Luka Doncic. So I really do believe that this team is going to be a top 3 seed in the West. And I think that's important as far as playoff seeding goes, because you want to have that first round home playoff game. Ideally, you'd love to have it in the second round as well and be one of the top 2 seeds, but as long as you're one of the top 3 seeds in the West and you get to have that home playoff round, home court advantage, in the first round of the playoffs, I think that sits really, really well. Topic number 2. The Mavericks need to make a trade before the February 6th trade deadline. I'm not so sure about that one. I don't really think they do. I'm going to go ahead and say sell on that. Look, Nico Harrison, in his tenure as Dallas Mavericks general manager, has made a trade in each of the seasons. So if you're asking what are the chances of the Mavericks making a trade, I'd say they're pretty high. However, do I think this team needs to make a trade in order to vault themselves into contention for the NBA title? I actually don't. I really believe in this starting 5. I believe in this bench unit. When you get Dante Exum back in January, February, that's going to be like a mini trade deadline acquisition as well. So do I think the Mavs feel desperation? Do I think they feel a need to go out and go get somebody at this deadline? I frankly really don't. And I don't think the Mavs will end up making a panic move either for a guy like, I don't know, let's throw out a crazy name, Zach LaVine, or a guy Zion Williamson. I don't think the Mavs need to make a splash of that sort. Could they find somebody like a Cam Johnson, a Dorian Finney-Smith, a Chris Boucher type that we've talked about here on the channel? Sure. Do they need to? I don't think so. Let's hear from you down in the comments, though. Do the Mavericks need to make a trade? Type T for trade, type P for pass down in the comments. Step into Nico Harrison's shoes and let me know what you guys think. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show, so when you get hit with the YouTube ad break, go on down there and get your votes and whether or not you think the Mavericks need to make a trade ahead of the February 6th trade deadline. I alluded to this one a few minutes ago. Luka, Kyrie, Klay, PJ, and Lively is the best starting 5 in the NBA. I'm going to absolutely buy this, and let me tell you why. This Mavericks team is 6-0 with this starting lineup. They are undefeated. And it doesn't seem like, it feels like when that lineup is on the court, they're never going to lose a game. This lineup has the best net rating in the NBA of Luka, Kyrie, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, and Derek Lively. And it feels like the chemistry with them is completely on point. They really didn't miss a beat, and they've only played 6 games together as a starting 5. And when you have the combination of playmaking in Luka and Kyrie Irving, you have the shot making of Luka, Kyrie, and Klay. You have the defensive tenacity of PJ Washington and Derek Lively. The starting lineup really has it all, and when you have a lineup that can do everything, both offensive and defensively, it makes for a really scary proposition for the rest of the NBA. I really believe in this starting lineup, and I think they're going to be fantastic. Look, it all depends on Jason Kidd and if he wants to keep this lineup or not. He really does like to tinker in the first 25, 30 games of the season, but at this point, there is no need to change anything in this starting lineup. I know he said that both Derek Lively and Daniel Gafford were going to start games based on matchup, but if you're asking me, I don't think there's any reason whatsoever to tinker with this one. This has got to be your starting lineup going forward for the rest of the season and into the postseason. We'll get to the rest of the show here in just a moment, but I do need to tell you guys about our lovely sponsor, which of course is PrizePicks, America's #1 daily fantasy sports app. Make your holidays bigger and brighter with PrizePicks, the best place to get real money sports action while watching your favorite sports. And you can now win up to 1,000 times your cash on PrizePicks. Join now because this holiday season, PrizePicks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Picksmas. And PrizePicks also offers weekly promotions that could lead to big payouts like Taco Tuesday, where each Tuesday, PrizePicks discounts select player projections to provide even more value for your lineups. Think Steph Curry will get more than 5 3-pointers next week, or Giannis for more than 35 points? Cook up hot takes with your friends and win real money this basketball season when you and your crew run your game on PrizePicks. And I do have a little projection for the Christmas Day games. Here's one of those free picks I was talking about earlier. PrizePicks was giving you a free win. If you think Nikola Jokic is going to score more than half a point on Christmas Day, just take the more and you can pair that with 1 to 5 other projections and you can win some money. I'm going to take the more on Luka Doncic, 45.5 points, rebounds, and assists. It's against the Timberwolves. It's on Christmas Day. It's a marquee game. Give me the more. I'm also going to take the less on Rudy Gobert, 10.5 points, because the Mavericks own Rudy Gobert. You can copy my picks or you can make picks of your own. Just please make sure you do it with our friends over at PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. Again, download the app today and use code CLNS to get a $50 bonus when you play your first $5 lineup. That link will be clickable in the comments and the description of today's show. It is PrizePicks. Run your game all season long. All right, let's take stock in a couple of more topics here. The Mavericks whiffed on the Omax Prosper pick. I'm not quite ready to say that yet, so I'm going to go with hold on this one. Look, I think Omax has shown a lot of flashes so far this season. He hasn't really put it together yet, and as of even the Portland game yesterday evening, Jason Kidd still trusts Maxi Kleber over Omax to do the job. Do I agree with that? Not necessarily, but whatever coach says goes, and right now he trusts Kleber to do the job, which he's done for 9 years in this league now. I want to see Omax get some more consistent playing time, like I said, to know once and for all if they do have something or not. So I think it's too early to say he's a complete bust and a waste of a pick. And I also think it's too early to say he has to be on this roster and he is a key piece of this future going forward no matter what. I think it's somewhere in the middle. So that's why I'm going to hold stock on this one. And we'll see where it goes from here. I really like Omax. I love the body type. I love the position that he plays because it's one of the most valuable positions in the NBA right now as a long athletic wing. I think he can blossom into something really good, and I hope it's in Dallas. But if it's somewhere else, it's somewhere else. Once again, I do want to ask you to hit that subscribe button. We have year-round Mavericks coverage with the latest Mavs, rumors, and analysis. We're also doing free agency and draft coverage, so we'll keep you guys up to date on all of that. Live watch parties as well. We've done a few of them this year. We're going to try to get to more of them as the new year turns and we get out of this holiday season. Help us get to 31,000 subscribers right now. It's youtube.com/MavsTV. You don't want to be anywhere else if you're an MFFL. All right, final topic here. Is Jason Kidd a top 10 coach in the NBA? I don't think you can say that he isn't at this point. We'll just take a look here at what Jason Kidd has done over the last 3 years. 2 conference finals, 1 finals appearance, got Kyrie Irving to not only come to Dallas, but stay in Dallas. He has established a culture that the Mavericks didn't have under Rick Carlisle, and this team is playing defense harder than they ever have, as long as I've been a fan, frankly, of this team for over 20 years. The Dallas Mavericks right now with Jason Kidd are a well-established, well-oiled machine, and Jason Kidd absolutely deserves credit for that. Does Jason Kidd have his flaws? 100%. I think there are some things he could do better in game as far as out of timeouts and use of rotations and this and that. But at the end of the day, you don't get this far as an organization if Jason Kidd is a bad coach. It just simply doesn't happen. I really do believe Jason Kidd's a top 10 coach in the NBA. I thought the article that CBS wrote earlier before the season listing him as the 18th best coach was complete BS. And I really believe that he is one of the top 10 coaches in the league. I'm not putting him in the category of Eric Spoelstra, of Greg Popovich. I'm not putting him in that category of elite coaches. But I am putting him in the category of he is a very good coach. And I do think it's time that us as fans and national media give Jason Kidd credit for what he's done with this Mavericks team. Before we get on out of here, I do want to ask you, do you think Jason Kidd is a top 10 coach in the NBA? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I absolutely believe he is, but let me know down in the comments once and for all what you guys think. And if I don't talk to you before then, have a very Merry Christmas. It's Mavericks versus Timberwolves tomorrow. We'll keep you up to date if anything major happens from the game as well. Again, it's youtube.com/MavsTV. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you soon.